Hey, my LimbO Line. Limbo is back. I'm here again with you all for another video as promised. Y'all might say I look a little bit crazy today, but your girl is kind of cold, so that's why she got this on. But today I'm so excited about bringing y'all this new video, which is talking about the pros and cons, or benefits rather, of hand expressing breast milk, pumping, and of course breastfeeding. So I really want to go ahead and tap into those things with you all soon. So this is the video that's doing that, because I really want to talk about that with you all so you can know why it's important for us to try our best to breastfeed if we can, and why we need to continue to do it and don't quit. Like, try to do it as long as you can, set your goal, and go ahead and try to get it done, because it is very healthy, very good for your baby. So we're going to talk about those things, and we're going to start off with hand expressing breast milk. And as always, I have my notes so that I can give y'all facts, everything that y'all need to know, not just opinions or not just my opinion, but actual facts that will actually help y'all to have a better understanding of everything. But before I hop into this video, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe so that I can know that you're here and that you're listening and that I'm helping you out. And welcome to Limbo. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this video. So with hand expressing, it's a couple of pros about it. But before we even talk about what the pros are, I want to make sure that I explain what hand expressing breast milk is and how exactly you would do it as well. Because that's important, because sometimes hand expressing breast milk does help out if need, or if you don't have a pump available or anything like that. So we're going to go over a little bit of things that's good for, and how you actually do it. So basically it's also called manual expressing, and that's basically because you're using your hands rather than using a electric pump or anything like that. So it's basically manual expressing, kind of like how you would say manual pumping, because if you have a manual pump, you're using your hands to kind of like squeeze it and everything. So in this case, you're using your hands to basically do what pumping would do. So manual expressing. So basically, hand expressing breast milk is a technique that you use in the place of your baby or a pump. So basically, if you're not around your baby at the time, or if you're not around a pump at the time, but you're going through an uncomfortable moment where where you have too much milk supply coming in or something at that time, and usually you will be feeding or something like that at that point, you can do the hand expressing. So that's basically what it's for. It's handy when your breast is full and uncomfortable, just like I just told you all. And when like your baby or the pump or electricity for you to be able to use your pump is unavailable. And it's also good for if your breast is engorged or hard. You can express before feeding. That way it'll soothe your breast, like make your breast more softer, so that it'll be easier for your baby to latch. Because sometimes when you're going through engorgement and your breast does get hard, it is hard for your baby to latch onto your nipple. So hand expressing it is good for you to be able to release some of that milk so that your baby can latch on easier. It's also good for premature babies, preemies, or newborns. When you're going through that colostrum phase and you want to feed your baby as much as you can do the hand expressing thing. That way, the hand expressing of breast milk. That way you won't be like losing any of the milk for your baby by pumping or anything like that. Because if it's when you're pumping, like you have the pump, you have the tubes and everything, and you can lose drops of that milk or a little bit of that milk because it's going through the tubes and everything. So just that little bit helps out. So that's why you can do the expressing. The way that you would hand express, though, if you all don't know, I think I've hand expressed once. Yeah, one time, my whole time of going through my breastfeeding journey so far, I've only had to hand express once, and that was because my engorgement was just going really bad at that time. Well, it was hurting and it was very uncomfortable at that time, and it was time to breastfeed her, but she wouldn't latch on again. Prior after the fact of getting her latched on. And so that's what I did so that she would latch on, because I realized that she couldn't latch on because of how hard my breasts were. So it was hard for her to latch on to my nipple. So I did that one time, and that really helped out. But basically, the way that you would do it is you would wash your hands, soap and water, of course. You make sure that you get kind of comfortable. That way, it'll be easier for you to go ahead and get the more comfortable you are, the more easier it'll be for you to express and figure out how to get the milk out for you, for your baby. And you can put a warm towel over your breast before you begin the initial expressing. That way it'll help with your milk flowing out somewhat. I used a warm towel, but I also used, if you look at my other video about products, I use the other the hot pouches that I had. I heat that up in the microwave, and I put that over my breast and used it the same as I would of a warm towel. So if you all have that, you can use that instead of a warm towel if you want to. After you do that, you will make sure that you position your hand in the C position. So when we were talking about breastfeeding positions, and I say, C position, like a hamburger, like you about to eat a hamburger, like that C position, but flip it. You'll be holding it this way, and you'll make sure that your thumb is on top of your breast and that your fingers are on the bottom part of your breast. So that's how you'll go ahead and get that started. And when you do that, you'll make sure that your thumb and your fingers are 1 to 2 inches away from your nipple when you get ready to do that, or behind your nipple. So then you will, with your other hand, your free hand, you will hold the storage material that you have. Like if you have a storage bag for your milk supply, if you're using the bottle that you might have that has a lid on it, that you might want to use that. Or if you just have some type of storage container or something, you can go ahead and get that with your other hand, and make sure that you have it where your nipple will be right over it, so that when the milk does start to come out, it'll go right into that without you possibly touching it, because you don't want to touch the milk when it's trying to come out. Also, what you would do after that, you would gently push your breast back. So you gently push your breast back towards your body with your thumb and fingers. Then you would softly bring your thumbs and fingers back together and go back to your original position, which was the relaxed position where you were 1 to 2 inches behind your nipple. So that's what you would do. Then you would continue to do like a gentle rolling move, because that helps your milk get out of your milk ducts in your breast. So that's why you would do that. So you don't want to be rough with that. You want to be as smooth and as gentle with that as possible, because you do have tissues, and you have breast tissue, and if you rub too hard or are too rough to it, then you can damage it. You can damage your breast tissue by doing it too rough. You want to make sure that you're doing your milk expressing as gentle as possible while still getting the milk out. So that's basically what you want to do. And once you start continuously going back and forth with it in the rolling motion, you make sure that you're leaning forward over your container, your storage bag, whatever you have, so that the milk can go ahead and drip out, spray out, or whatever it's going to do. So you want to make sure that you do that. And like I said before, be careful with letting the milk touch your hands, because you really don't want for your breast milk to be touching your hands. And basically what you would do with that, you would repeat that until there's no more milk coming out, or until you feel comfortable now. Like if you was doing it because you couldn't get your baby to latch on because your breasts were too hard, just express until your breasts get to a soothing, soft state to where you know that your baby will be able to latch on. So that's basically what that's for. So the pros to this is the fact that it is natural, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it, and it doesn't require equipment except for like a storage bag or storage container, something like that, versus pumping. And it's always available, because you always have your hands, you always have your breast, so it's always available to get done. And you could possibly get more milk than you would with pumping, because unlike how with pumping it's going through tubes and everything like that, it'll actually be just coming straight out of your breast. So you could possibly get more milk than you would have with pumping. And basically it gets you, and also it gets you more comfortable and familiar with your breast too. So by doing that, it helps you get more comfortable and knowing like, oh, okay, this is how my breast should feel. I don't feel this. I don't feel a lump. Basically like doing a self mammogram almost. But yeah, that's what it's good for. So it's good for that as well. The cons to it though is the fact that it does take practice. Like, it's not really bad cons about it. It's just the fact that you do, if that's what you want to do, it is going to take practice, because it takes a while to be able to master the technique how you feel comfortable doing it. So it is going to take some time to do it and to learn the proper way of doing it. Using a pump is quicker. That's another con. Because with the pump, all you have to do is just put the bags on, and or the bottles on, and pump away. But with this, it does take a little bit more time to do. So pumping is quicker. And some women do have difficulties with getting milk out with doing expressing. So those are the cons of it. But it's also a lot of pros to it. So if this is something that you feel like you might want to try doing, then by all means, I feel like you should try it. Because at the end of the day, it does help with a lot of things, including like helping with soothing for yourself from engorgement and everything like that. So try it out and see how it works for you.